welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news show. Lots of stories coming out today. Manchester United, as we spoke about in my live show earlier, having a big transfer meeting today. It's expected that mostly outs will be discussed in the likes of Victor Lindelof. That was reported by Simon Jones of the Mail. And last time we had a big transfer meeting, we made a Euro bid, we made a Braithwaite bid. Well, there's actually reports coming in that United are preparing a big 60 million bid to drop for Braithwaite. What is the truth in that? Is that got anything to do with the Lindelof being sold story? Where has that come from? Man United potentially walking away from Ugarte and planning to do a double deal for Berge and Fofana, but could that depend on a sale? Berge they could do without a sale. Fofana may require a sale. McTominay exit still expected to happen. Some more news on Delictus Mazraoui, some more news on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Ivan Toney, and some potential attacking deals Manchester United are looking at and more. So guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Share the video and all of that good stuff as well. We're 24 subscribers away from 88.8k, so please do subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 90k by the end of the transfer window, by the end of August. So look, I mean, it'll be amazing if we hit 90k by the end of August, but I'll need your guys' help. So let's dive right into the news. Let's dive right into the stories. To everybody in the chat, I hope you're having a good evening as well. But there was some reports about some Ugarte developments and Ugarte breakthrough, but I'm not quite sure. I think United want a midfielder. There's reports saying that United actually want to get another signing done ahead of the Fulham game, and that could be a midfielder, because I know there's reports coming in of a Braithwaite bid, but I think our next signing will be a midfielder. We will dive into midfield, but this came out just now, so quickly get it up on the screen. Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui have now completed their medical test at Carrington. Contracts are set to be signed on both club and player side with agent Rafael Pimenta in Manchester. All documents to be okay within 24 hours, as Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui will be ready for Fulham. So basically, could get an announcement tonight. I expect an announcement tomorrow. I expect sometime tomorrow a big announcement in regards to de Ligt and Mazraoui being signed. I think we'll let West Ham announce Wan-Bissaka first. West Ham are going to announce Wan-Bissaka tonight. We're probably going to announce de Ligt and Mazraoui tomorrow. Bish, bash, bosh. Bish, bash, bosh, lovely stuff. That'll be brilliant. And it's all basically done. It's all basically signed. They can play against Fulham. So, hit the like button for de Ligt and Mazraoui coming in, because finally good to have new defence. I think with the defensive issues we've had injury rise, and I know these two players have had injury-prone seasons, massive to get it done as well. Let's push for 88.8k, all the 8s. I just realised that as well. That would be amazing as well. Hi, Alice. I just came to England from Canada for a vacation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch Man United's opener versus Fulham, but I'll watch West Ham, Aston Villa. Yeah, Man United tickets are very, very difficult to get. But you know what? West Ham Villa is going to be a good game, because I think West Ham and Villa have had the two best transfer windows and probably have the two best squads with Newcastle outside the traditional Big Six. I think West Ham Villa is probably one of the best opening games to watch in terms of what they're doing and what they're building as well. Just looked at Kalalogu and wow, he's a game-changing baller. We need that guy. Fantastic player. I saw him in the Euros. But I think with Mazraoui being done, I don't think we're going to press ahead on that. So let's talk about the news coming out. So Manchester United are still working on possible arrivals in midfield. Talks are continuing with Burnley over Berge, with dialogue remaining open with Monaco over Fofana. Scott McTominay could be one to watch before the transfer deadline. So, as said, Man United are working on potential midfield deals. We've had dialogue with both Burnley and Monaco over deals for Berge and Fofana. Now, it was reported a few days ago that Manchester United want to bring in two midfielders. It was reported a few days ago that we're planning to bring in two midfielders. And Berge, considering we made a £43 million bid for Ugarte, and that has been rejected. £43 million bid for Ugarte that's been rejected. Duncan Castle's confirmed that, and Ugarte is not worth more than £43 million. Then that basically confirms there's £43 million on midfield. You can get Berge and Fofana for about £45 million potentially. That almost covers the Ugarte fee. They want us to push to £50 million for Ugarte. We won't do that, and we can't do that without sale. Maybe Lindelof sale. That funds can go into Berge and Fofana, but there's potential of a double deal. It was said, Manchester United are looking to sign two midfielders this summer and may pursue deals for both Fofana and Berge if PSG doesn't lower Ugarte's transfer fee. The club is set on signing at least one midfielder regardless of player sales, but ideally they aim to secure two, depending on the potential departures such as McTominay. Fulham is expected to make another bid for McTominay, and United hopes to finalise as much of their transfer business as possible before the first game of the season. Fulham may also want McTominay before that first game of the season, but they literally have to act now. It was also said that United are holding major transfer meeting today to discuss the future of players like Victor Lindelof and other potential exits. The club is looking to accelerate those departures to facilitate more incoming deals before the transfer window as well. So I think Berge, Fofana, MCTOMINAY and Ugarte is all ones to watch. Is it going to be Ugarte? Is it going to be Berge and Fofana? I think it's all one big thing to watch at the moment as well. De Ligt feels like fixing our mistake of the past. We should have gotten him instead of Maguire. I was thinking that earlier, how we were going to get De Ligt and then Mino Raiola probably messed up and then we got Maguire. And it almost feels like with Matthijs de Ligt, going back to the De Ligt news and going back to the De Ligt story, but it always felt with Matthijs de Ligt that he was meant to be a Manchester United player. It was one of those where it was always meant to happen, but Mino Raiola caused issues. Apparently he wanted Man United over Juventus, and this was way before Ten Hag, but, Mino Raiola had a bit of issues with us, and he went to Juventus and he went to Bayern, but it was always felt like he was meant to go to Manchester United. He was meant to be a Man United player, and I think with Ten Hag coming in and it being written in the stars to it for United, that deal is finally happening. It's great to have two players for the price of one, but little worried about the midfield quality unless we get Ugarte in January. I think, quality-wise, Ugarte, if you can get the best out of him and you get Ugarte at his best, he could offer more than Fofana and Berge. But I think considering, the limitations we have in midfield, particularly on the ball, Fofana and Berge are both good on the ball. So if something did happen to Kobbie Mainoo, we wouldn't be completely screwed because Ugarte, Casemiro, Mason Mount, McTominay are not known for being good on the ball. Mason Mount can be quite good in half spaces in advanced areas, but I'm talking build-up progression. Mainoo's are only good midfielder in build-up, and you can see that our midfield build-up is definitely the biggest issue at the moment. I mean, last season it was the structure of the midfield out possession. Versus City, that was fine. It was the build-up, and I do think Berge and Fofana being good on the ball could be better business than just Ugarte on its own, two for the price of one. We're heading into the correct timeline with the De Ligt signing. Do you know what's mad is we've got De Ligt for £42 million. De Ligt's gone for 60 million, 70 million in the past. We've got him for £42 million. I think that's some really good business for United. Similar price to how much Max Kilman cost, and De Ligt's 3 years younger. Well, actually, it's De Ligt's birthday. He turned 25 today. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the De Ligt deal. De Ligt comes too late. We could have used him same time as Donny. They would have been a great pair. I don't know, because one plays advanced midfield and one plays centre-back. I don't know what you mean about them being a pair. But if only, De Ligt was meant to come in years ago, but I don't think you can say he was going to link up with Donny in midfield as well. I can live with one quality midfield signing, considering Mount looks sharp and Collier could have a breakthrough season. Me too. Two midfield signings would be amazing, but I think because of Collier and Mount feeling like new signings, I think if we get one midfield signing and it's the right signing and it is a bit more expensive, we can afford to do that, which obviously could make sense with Ugarte as well. I guess the only question is Ugarte not the best on the ball, Collier not the best on the ball. We need someone that maybe has some kind of cover for Mainoo as well. There's reports that the Hermoso deal was off, but again, it's not come out from anyone reliable, so I wouldn't completely and fully believe those stories. Yeah, De Ligt has great leadership and excited. Yeah, I saw something about De Ligt actually, and I wanted to share it if I can find it, about why De Ligt was amazing signing. Let me see if I can find it here. De Ligt 19. De Ligt captained Ajax at age 19. He's always been a leader. He's won the trophies in 3 years as well. Would be a great addition for United. This is from a Liverpool account. Here from when Liverpool were linked to De Ligt a few years back. So this is what Liverpool were posting about De Ligt a few years back. Captained Ajax, not Real Madrid and Juventus, out of the Champions League, scored a decisive goal versus Juventus in the Champions League semi-final. Sensational. Bet you that Liverpool fan will probably be saying De Ligt's an awful player now. That's when Liverpool were linked to De Ligt, what they were saying as well. But he was captain in Ajax at age 19. Again, what De Ligt when under Ten Hag was just unbelievable. You look at stuff here. De Ligt, when he was 19, he was captain of Ajax, 53 matches for Ajax that season, only 3 matches missed through injury, 7 goals, 4 assists. Matthijs de Ligt under Ten Hag, man. Matthijs de Ligt under Ten Hag, people forget how good he was. I think because he's not the most aesthetically pleasing, people think he maybe's worse than he is. But he still cost Bayern a good amount of money from Juventus. It wasn't that he was bad, and Bayern have forced him out. 80,000 Bayern fans have signed a petition to keep him at the club, and they don't want him to go. So I think that speaks highly of what De Ligt is as well. But yeah, captain at 19 years of age. For Ajax, true leaders, won the title in 3 leagues. I think that's got to be an exciting deal for United, to be honest, as well. Guys, please do hit that like button and, of course, subscribe down below to the channel if you're new. We're going to get back into the news as well. Oh, let's talk about Graham Souness while we're here. Because, as David has said here, did you see that Souness called De Ligt a lightweight? Graham Souness just never watched De Ligt play if he's a lightweight. De Ligt is probably the opposite of a lightweight defender. Graham Souness has come out and said Lisandro Martinez isn't good on the ball, and Graham Souness has said De Ligt is a lightweight. Graham Souness does not watch them play because, if anything, you can say Martinez is a lightweight and De Ligt is good on the ball, to be fair. But to say that De Ligt is a lightweight when he's a proper heavyweight, compact defender, and then last year to say Martinez isn't good on the ball when Martinez is probably the best centre-back in the Premier League on the ball. Martinez overall, Pep said top 5 centre-back, but on the ball, he's probably the best in the league. You can tell that Graham Souness has never watched a game of football in his life. Because if you're calling De Ligt a lightweight defender and saying Martinez is bad on the ball, when De Ligt is the polar opposite of that, and Martinez's best attribute is his ability on the ball, it is absolutely unbelievable. What he's saying, De Ligt is a physical box defender. De Ligt might lack some pace, but he's not lightweight. We've lost Varane. Varane is an elite level box defender. Man United lost Varane. Varane was a big loss for United. He's an elite level box defender. So we needed someone that is physical. We needed someone that's a box defender. We needed someone that's good in the duels. And you absolutely get that in Matthias de Ligt. So Graham Souness does not watch football. I can say this right now. Graham Souness does not watch football. He probably watches a few Liverpool games, and because he gets paid good money, he'll read a bit of Bob online. But there's no way you can convince me that Graham Souness actually watches football matches. I mean, let's not even waste too much time talking about him as well. Yeah, Varane is injured again, which is such a shame as well. Souness is just bitter. He could say, Lisandro Martinez, physically, maybe aggression-wise, he could improve. If you want to say something anti-United, at least make it somewhat constructive. Okay, Martinez, physically, aggression-wise, could improve in the air. If you want to criticise Martinez, criticise him for that. But you don't do that. You say he's bad on the ball when he's good on the ball. So you don't watch him play. If you want to criticise the Man United player, criticise them for what they need to be criticised for. Martinez can be over-aggressive. Martinez isn't the best in the air. If you want to criticise Martinez, say that. But there's no need to criticise Martinez because he was so good for us in his first season. It's just he's played for United. Those pundits don't know anything. Saw one of them say Xerxes not a link-up striker. I mean, exactly. Do you know what? And this sounds bad, but a lot of the people in mainstream media, on TV, they've got the job on TV, but they don't do their research. They really don't. Xerxes is a link-up player. He's not a clinical striker. He's not a Haaland. He's a link-up player. He's a Firmino. And to say he's not a link-up player on TV. I saw one clip earlier today of some guy saying, Newcastle put a third bid in for Gay, and Gay was unbelievable when he played Newcastle back in April. Gay was injured in April. Gay didn't play against Newcastle in April. He was injured. And you got the pundit on Sky Sports saying, oh yeah, when he played Newcastle back in April, it was unbelievable. But he didn't play Newcastle back in April. He was injured. I mean, the stuff that comes out on mainstream TV these days is absolutely crazy. It's like they've just given it to around a Twitter account. But let's continue on into the news. Let's continue on into the stories, because there is quite a lot of news and information and stories to get through in regards to business United are working on, United's transfer plans, and more. So let's dive right into it. So Man United are working on possible arrivals in midfield with Berge and Fofana. McTominay's one to watch. United are looking at signing 2 midfielders and could pursue both Berge and Fofana if the Ugarte fee's not lowered. Man United having big meetings today to discuss exits. Manchester United looking to offload Lindelof. Police Stream, Mesbury, Lindelof exits are looking like a strong possibility. And of course, McTominay is one to watch. Fulham are expected to come back in for McTominay. And if McTominay was sold, that would then facilitate the 2 midfield signings that United obviously have planned as well. So let's continue on into other news. So look, I'm going to be honest, I don't believe this story because I don't trust Footy Insider, and in fact, most things that come out from Footy Insider tends to be a load of shite, but this is not the first. There has been rumours about this for a while, and some more credible sources have said it's not over for Branthwaite, which I think it is because we've got De Ligt and Euro in, and we need a midfielder. I think we only get Branthwaite if we make quite a lot of money in sales, aka both Lindelof and Maguire leave. I think for us to get Branthwaite, both Lindelof and Maguire would have to leave. Same with McTominay, same with Sancho, same with Pelistri to get Branthwaite and a DM. But it has been said that United have apparently reopened talks to sign Branthwaite. They're planning to submit a 60 million bid this week. United had 2 bids rejected by Everton. Now, I think you could get a deal done for Branthwaite for 60 million. I think Everton would accept it. I think Everton have realised that we're not actually going to be mugged about this window. and give them 70 million for Branthwaite. And I think Everton had a big strop when we signed Euro, because I think Everton generally thought they were going to get 70 million for Branthwaite. I think the pure reaction from Everton when Manchester United signed Euro, that reaction from Everton of just salt and anger when we signed Euro, is because I think they thought we were going to cave and buy Branthwaite. Obviously, we didn't cave. Obviously, we didn't overspend on Branthwaite, and Everton didn't like that. So I think, we've reopened talks with Everton to submit a bid for Branthwaite, but I don't think we will. I think we could probably get him for 60 million now, because I think Everton are desperate to sell and realise they can't push us about, and annoyed that they've bottled it, and they've bottled a huge sale by putting a ridiculous asking price on Branthwaite when they need financial help. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with De Ligt, I'm happy with Euro. Unless both Maguire and Lindelof leave and we've already sorted out our midfield, there's no point going for Branthwaite. I think it's probably made up news from Footy Insider. Don't see it happening. Another deal I could see happening, but only if there's a sale and attack, and hopefully doesn't happen, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and we're going to discuss that in a second. I also want to get into some more news on Sander Berge that's just come out as well. I'd rather buy a top quality DM instead of those funds for Branthwaite. Absolutely agree. Branthwaite is very versatile, but Maguire and Lindelof would need to be sold for it to become reality. He can also play left back if needed. Exactly. Can play left centre back, can play right centre back. Apparently he's actually right footed, but he's so good with his left foot that people thought he was left footed. But I don't know how true that story is, because of the amount of rumours that go about on Twitter as well. But Leach, De Ligt, Euro, we don't need another 50 million to spend on the centre back. Absolutely agree. All the funds remaining now need to go on midfield as well. I completely agree. There's no point putting in this 60 million bid for Branthwaite now. If we've got 60 million to spend, try hijack Subamende to Liverpool. Go spend 60 million on a Stiller. Go spend 60 million, well, not on Ugarte, but go spend 60, or Stiller. They're both under 60 million players. But go spend 60 million on a top quality DM. That's what I think. Frankie de Jong is available for 50 million. I wouldn't go for Frankie de Jong unless he was going to take a significant wage cut and was begging Ten Hag to join us. And I would again only get Frankie de Jong if I felt that we could get an actual DM in as well. There is reports that we could make a bid for Frankie de Jong, but he's injured. For me, I'd rather that 60 million not be spent on Branthwaite and that 60 million be spent on midfield as well. So let's dive into this story here on the screen, and then I will get back into the chat and some of your comments below. It was said Dominic Calvert-Lewin is one of a number of forwards being discussed by Manchester United this summer. As it stands, not a priority position, and United unlikely to reinforce in that area if there are sales. He's into the final year of his contract. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Ivan Toney have been discussed as potential attackers to add to United's front line, but not a priority, but he is in the final year of his contract. Dominic Calvert-Lewin to United makes no sense, because we've got Xerxes, we've got Højlund, we've got Mount that can play in that role, we've got Bruno that can play in that role as a false nine, you've got Sancho that can play there as well, you've got potentially even Ahmad. We don't need a striker. If we're going to sign forward, we need someone that's happy to play left and right wing. We don't want someone that's central based. With Højlund and Xerxes, we don't need anyone that's central based, because Rashford can fill in there if need be. Probably not his best role, but we know Sancho can do a job there, Bruno can do a job there, Mount could do a job there, Ahmad could probably do a job there. We don't need anyone, particularly Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't been good enough and is particularly overrated. For me, it makes no sense. If we do lose Sancho, you sign a winger. Not someone that plays centrally, you sign a winger. You can sign a winger that can play centrally, but you need someone that is comfortable on both wings. Otherwise, it makes absolutely no sense as well. I'm absolutely sweating. It is so hot in England today, by the way, guys. So I don't know how long I'm going to be live for, as I am struggling in this heat. My room is like a sauna right now. I've gone a bit red. Mount isn't a striker, but we've seen Mount playing this false nine role. Same with Bruno. Do any top clubs have free quality strikers anymore? Seems unnecessary in lone striker systems. Exactly. Under Fergie, we had a lot of quality strikers, but we're playing two up top. I mean, we're seeing elements of Ten Hag playing two up top in terms of two false nines. But yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. Unless we're going to play two up top, it would make absolutely no sense. And if we were going to bring someone in, I'd rather us spend the extra money on Ivan Toney than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We've even got Ethan Wheatley and Obi Martin in the academy, if something's needed there. Richard said De Ligt is a proper leader. I can see him being captain in future. We don't need Branthwaite. Martinez, De Ligt, Euro, Maguire is good depth. I completely agree. I think those four centre-backs will do us for depth. Cole Palmer, as we discussed earlier in my live show, would be an unbelievable dream signing for United. So what is the latest on De Ligt and Mazraoui? The main part of the medicals are complete. In fact, Romano said the medicals are complete, and they were treated to a top lunch at Carrington and now undergoing their media duties. Maybe it's announced tonight, but I think Wan-Bissaka deal will be announced tonight, and I think De Ligt and Mazraoui will be announced tomorrow. I think they'll let West Ham announced Wan-Bissaka first. But West Ham, Wan-Bissaka is doing the first part of his medical at West Ham. He's been pictured with the shirt, so that could come out this evening. You know, it's a shame that Wan-Bissaka is leaving United because I like the player, but it's also a good thing at the same time. You don't want him running down his contract, and that money for Wan-Bissaka goes right into Mazraoui, and Mazraoui can play Ten Hag's system. He's more suited to what Ten Hag wants to do, and could, as been said, bring the best out in Antony. So I think Mazraoui is a good deal. Wan-Bissaka was, I think, a 20 million deal, but we've given him the payout, so we get about 15 million for Wan-Bissaka as well. Top lunch, always best to avoid the chicken. that report did make me laugh because I don't know if you remember, but Manchester United got a 1-star hygiene rating because we had some top guests and we gave them uncooked chicken and food poisoning. So Man United's got a 1-star hygiene rating for the food. So hopefully we didn't give De Ligt and Mazraoui chicken because that's one thing you want to avoid as well. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Do you think Man United will sign 2 midfielders? I think it depends on sales and the price. The game changed and there are far too many inside forwards, not enough strikers anymore. It's more about inside forwards and wingers and stuff. You know, it's more, you see, when like back in the day, it was always 4-4-2, but I almost feel like when you build lineups, you build 4-3-3 as the classic formation for everything, not 4-4-2. It seems 4-3-3 is the baseline formation instead of 4-4-2 now. I think it's just the way that the world of football is changing. In regards to exits as well, this was obviously confirmed yesterday by Sam. It's now been further confirmed by sources in Italy that Bologna have standed out Facundo Pellistri as a possible replacement for Ndoye. And Ndoye has actually been linked to United at a very good Euros. Could be available for 20 to 25 million pounds. Don't see him coming to United, but Bologna are looking at Pellistri. It was also said that several underage players were expected to leave Man United on short-term deals in the final weeks of the transfer window. Eric Ten Hag is keen to retain Ethan Wheatley's services until at least January when the situation will be assessed again. So Ethan Wheatley is probably going to stay at United. Same with Collier, same with Amas, but a lot of the other players, particularly the young players, will go out on loan is what is sort of being reported and suggested as well there. Guys, please do hit that like button and, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. We're 19 subscribers away from 88.8k. We're on the road to 90,000 subscribers by the end of the window. We're so close to 88.8k, 19 subscribers away. So do subscribe if you're new because we've got breaking news coming in that De Ligt and Mazraoui have both completed their medical and they will be ready for the Fulham game as well. They got the medical done is what is being reported as well. Mazraoui is a top fullback. He is versatile. He can play left back and right back and is technically great in attack, something that Aaron lacked. I think the reason Ten Hag wants Mazraoui in is because Mazraoui can suit the style of football he wants to play a lot more. He understands the high press. He understands how to get forward. And Ten Hag believes in players like Mazraoui and De Ligt. He knows they understand how he wants to play and that they're going to elevate our levels up. And in fact, the fact is he didn't throw Xerxes in the deep end versus City. He didn't throw Hamas in the deep end versus City despite having no left back. He's more than willing to start De Ligt and Mazraoui in our first game against Fulham is what's being said as well, which suggests that, things on the, suggests how highly he rates them as well. Adam Wharton next summer is the Euro type signing, unique market signing. Get Berge and Fofana for the asking price of Ugarte. Literally, Berge would be happy to be a squad player if Wharton came in, not Ugarte. I agree. I actually think that right now I'm more leaning towards Berge and Fofana over Ugarte. The more research I've done, the more I think, United could go out for Wharton next summer. I just think that, and particularly the versatility that it adds to the midfield and the numbers and the abilities on the ball, I'm actually turning more towards getting Berge and Fofana over Ugarte as well. Pellistri looked good in Spain. He would suit a mid-table La Liga club. I agree. I think he would suit leagues abroad, mid-table La Liga club. And hopefully we do find a club that's one, going to give us 10 million for Pellistri, and two, be a good deal for him as well. Fernandes has signed a contract extension. That is some news coming out. Apparently United showed an interest in Victor Osimhen. I mean, I think that's a bit of a relevant story, United showing an interest in Osimhen, because we're never going to sign him. We signed Højlund and we signed Rasmus. If we signed Osimhen, it's just Chelsea level agreed, and we don't need that. One set. Ooh. Do you guys want me to do a video on how we could line up versus Fulham in terms of starting 11 with De Ligt and Mazraoui coming in? Do let me know down below in the chat as well. Get Andrick off Liverpool. Why not do that deal? Not been linked to him. Not been linked to a lot of players in the Bundesliga outside of De Ligt and Mazraoui. Mazraoui is a top class passer of the ball. I was surprised Eric Ten Hag didn't bring him in on a free that first summer. Yeah, I was quite surprised we didn't go for Mazraoui in Ten Hag's first summer. Really good on the ball. Understands Ten Hag's style of play. Really highly rated by Ten Hag. I'm surprised we didn't go for him on a free. Maybe it was too early on. Maybe because we needed to offload one of Wan-Bissaka at the time. Maybe, but yeah, I completely agree. I have to say though, Wan-Bissaka 2 seasons ago, we were talking about selling him for about 10 million, so at least we've got that 15, 20 million for him. Hey Alice, can we talk about our keeper Onana, who makes too many mistakes? He holds the ball for too long and then just boots it out and gives it to players under pressure. What are your thoughts? Look, I think Onana's had some good games. He's had some bad games. He's been inconsistent. He's been frustrating. I'm going to properly judge him depending on this season because this is his second season now as well. I love Berge. He's so good. Don't think Ugarte is bad, but Fofana might not be what we want. I feel, look, Fofana and Berge I think is the perfect duo because Berge is a 6, Fofana's an 8. So yeah, I don't know. I think Ugarte is probably the best player out of the 3 and could be the best player, but there's definitely a lot of red flags around potentially Ugarte coming to United and his lack of ability on the ball as well. Onana's one to monitor the season. Like players like Onana and Mason Mount need to have a good season, or they could be on the way out as well. But I wouldn't call Onana a flop just yet. Talking of goalkeepers, David De Gea is obviously signed with Fiorentina. So I wish him the best. I wish David De Gea the best. I think it was right to move on David De Gea, but I do massively wish him the best because I think he's a good player, and I think that he's people have tried to make out he's a lot worse than he actually is. So Souness has called De Ligt a lightweight, yes, and Lisandro Martinez bad on the ball. That's what Graham Souness says about our defenders. So you can tell how much football Graham Souness actually watches. We've got over 1,500 people watching right now, guys. So please do go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news as well. Rajat says we need a destroyer type DM, and I guess you've got that in Ugarte and Human. They're more destroyer types DMs, whereas other players that we've been linked to are better on the ball. But the weird thing is, Fofana, Ugarte, and Berge are 3 different profiles of players, 3 completely different profiles of players, but we're linked to them all. So it's like, what kind of profile of player are we looking for in midfield? Are we just looking for anyone? Or are we looking for 2 different players? Because I almost think, cool, we've missed out on Ugarte, but why aren't we linked to Human? Similar profile, very good out of possession. Now we're linked to Berge, a very different profile. It does show elements of all. If United thought this out, have United planned this as well? So yeah, let's go for Amrabat instead of Fofana. I think Fofana is a much better player than Amrabat. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think there's any need for us to go in for Amrabat unless it's the second midfield signing. Guys, we're 18 subscribers away from 88.8k, so please do go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new. If you just joined the stream, we're just discussing all the latest news coming out today. Mazraoui set to play left back on Friday. So if you just joined, De Ligt and Mazraoui have completed their medical test. Mazraoui expected to play fullback and De Ligt expected to play centre back against Fulham now. It was also said that Manchester United is still working on possible arrivals in midfield, with talks continuing with Burnley over Berge, while dialogue also remains open with Monaco over Fofana. It said that Scott McTominay is one to watch before the transfer deadline. So these are 3 deals to watch. Berge and Fofana coming in with Scott McTominay going out, because Manchester United are looking to sign 2 midfielders this summer and may pursue deals for both Fofana and Berge if PSG do not lower Ugarte's transfer fee. The club is set on signing at least 1 midfielder regardless of player sales, but ideally they aim to secure 2, depending on potential departures such as McTominay. Fulham's expected to make another bid for McTominay, and United hope to finalise as much of their transfer business as possible before the first game starts, with United holding a major meeting today in regards to transfers and the future of players like Lindelof and his potential exit. The club are now looking to accelerate departures so they can bring in players and there could be more money to spend as well. But there's a feeling that McTominay could go and that we do want 2 midfielders deep down as well. Onana with De Ligt, Euro, Mazraoui and Shaw ahead of him, who will be who he needs to play out from the back. Yeah, I do think now we're going to get the personnel in and we're going to get, Martin is consistently playing with Onana. We will stop seeing him going long all the time and play out from the back a little bit more. Onana only keeps it long because our defenders were incredibly incapable from playing out the back. He has no chance. And I think, again, that's a big reason behind Onana always going long. Is it because we don't have the personnel and the players to do that as well? But yes, Victor Lindelof to Italian clubs is reportedly what is advancing, and it's reported to be more likely. De Gea, brilliant shot stopper, should thrive in Serie A. Exactly. It's not as technical as the Premier League as well. Alice, do you think there's any truth in the De Jong talks? I think it's absolute rubbish. I think it's absolute nonsense, and that's why I've not covered it. I don't think there's any truth whatsoever in the Frankie De Jong reports, if I was going to be totally honest with you guys. Guys, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks if you're new. I do apologise for just phasing out a little bit there. I'm absolutely exhausted. I think the heat in England at the moment is just roasting me. It's absolutely cooking me. If you just joined the chat, we're just going through the latest news. It has also been said that United are looking at big sales. There's a big emergency meeting today where we'll be discussing the sales of Police, Mesbury, Lindelof, potentially McTominay and more. United having a big sales meeting to discuss things. Obviously, Bologna and Pellistri is being discussed currently. Sancho's been discussed with PSG, but now they've signed Desiree Doué. Pellistri, Mesbury and Eriksen expected to leave. Pellistri, Mesbury and Lindelof expected to leave. Eriksen could still leave. Anthony Maguire, we want out, but whether they'll go or not, there's a lot going on in the outs. Apparently, we made a 60 million bid for Braithwaite, or planning it. I don't think that's true. The source isn't most reliable, and apparently we have some kind of interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but I don't think there's anything advanced or true in that. It makes no sense. And then obviously, De Ligt and Masraouy's medicals are done. They're just probably waiting for the announcement on Wan-Bissaka. You talk so quick, that makes you exhausted. Calm down. I do talk quick, but I feel like I'm talking quick because I'm absolutely exhausted and I want to get all my information out and keep this live show to 40 minutes. But yeah, listen, people, please do hit that like button and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Matthijs de Ligt and Masraoui are done. Their medical is done. They're set to be announced as United players in the next 24 hours, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm going to wrap up today's live show here because I'm absolutely knackered and falling asleep and talking at a million miles an hour while I'm trying to stay awake. But yeah, if you just joined, scroll back to the beginning. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tonight. Bye.